Hello and welcome to Module 1. You may have noticed that the introduction video for this course is a year old, and that is because I did such a good job last year. It said everything I need to say, but I'm going to be updating the weekly module videos just because it feels more like a real, interaction, even if it's just one way. Um, I do want to let you know that I didn't mention in the introduction video, but there's going to be a point where you will be doing some collaborative work with each other, which is new for this course. I didn't mention it previously, but that's not something that you have to worry about for several weeks, and we'll have plenty of time to look at that. So for this week, it is a bit shorter, and so I do want you to be paying attention to how much time you're spending. We are still, as a human race, dealing with some stuff. So, don't hurt yourself. Take care of yourself. If you find that you have used up your allotment of time for the week and you haven't finished everything, then you haven't. Just shoot me an email and let me know. All right. So, with that being said, you might finish everything here really, really quickly, in which case, go have a cup of tea. Enjoy yourself. But generally, I put enough things that you have other places to go if you should finish quickly. So the what's up for this week? The first one is The Year of the Go-Getter. It's by Wayne Diorio, and it looks at the changes in librarianship because of COVID. And some of it is a little public library specific, which surprises me. School Library Journal is usually very school library oriented, but what he says is interesting, and it does, deal with the profession that we do. So it's worth looking at. There's also, he references the New York City Department of Education's translation of practice for school librarians. And even though there's not a ton of, remote going on right now, at least not yet, we'll see. But it really nicely sort of breaks down our practice and all of the things that we do. And I think it's just a really nice resource and lines up with the Diorio article as well. All right, there are 2 chapters from books. There's chapter 7 on blogs and wikis from Renee Hobbs, Create to Learn. Create to Learn is a great book. The only chapter that I have provided is this one because it's quite early in the course. You don't need to, I don't want you worrying that you didn't get the book yet. It's a really, really good book. Renee Hobbs is at the University of Rhode Island. She works with information or digital literacy, and she's a genius. I took a couple of courses with her right before and during COVID times. She's tremendous. And this book looks at how creating helps you learn, hence the title, but really that process. And she goes into it. This is wonderful. The book that you do need to buy is Kaplan. Catalog it. Make sure you get a copy of that. It should be available, on the Evil Empire, Amazon. That brings me to Will Richardson. Will Richardson's is a little bit old. It's, I think, 2008, but his pedagogy is still really good. So his chapter on Blogs Wiki, the book is Blogs, Wikis, Podcasts, and Other Powerful Web Tools. Some of it has seen its time. But the chapter on blogs does give a really nice look at blogs in education, how they can be used. And I do recommend it. And so I provided it. If you'd like to get a copy, you can probably find one dirt cheap because I think that it's not, not quite as relevant as it used to be, as are so many things in education. I mean, woo, technology. All right, so speaking of real old, Olson's query on 10 things every teacher should know about technology was, new when I started this course, and now is so old, but I just can't say goodbye to it. And the reason behind that is because as librarians, school librarians, people are going to come to us for tech help. Now, hopefully they're going to see us as a resource for that. My school has a super robust tech department, really helpful, great people, but there are still some teachers who feel like they don't want to go in and ask questions. They feel like it's a stupid question. And so they'll come to me because they're used to me asking stupid questions and doing stupid things. And so they feel comfortable doing that. And we should have a baseline of what we think teachers should be aware of. So I'm going to have you read this, and it's really the comments more than the query. Just take a look. You don't have to do the whole thing, just until you get bored, I guess. But then I want you to develop your own list of 10 things that you think every teacher should know about technology. And again, go with your gut. At the end of the course, we go in and I have you annotate or revise that. based on what you learned in the course. And it's a nice snapshot for me, and it also helps you. So you're going to put just the URL of your blog post. Oh, I didn't obsess about this in the introduction, but really, when you put in your blog post URL, make sure that you are not in the editing tool. Get out of whatever you use, Blogger or WordPress, get out of it, go back in, and then click on the title of that specific post and put that URL in. Really, you will save me a bunch of time, and just do it that way. The other thing about the blog is I used to go through like how to create a blog process, but I found that more than half the people who take my courses, I always require a blog as one of the assessments. And more than half the people already have them. So feel free to use a blog that you already have if you want, or just if you've done it once, you know how to do it again. If you're really just a newbie on the whole blog front, Google, not Google Sites, what is it called? Blogger. Google's Blogger has a bunch of introductory videos, as does any of the other blogging sites, which I can't think of a single one. But oh well, it's too late. This is my 4th try on this video. I'm not going back. There are plenty of other blog sites, and I'm still looking. And WordPress, that was what I was trying to think of. Okay. I actually use Blogger myself, but a lot of people like WordPress. It's very pretty. All right. I had people use Instagram in my other class, my young adult class, but because it's kind of visual what you're doing. But for this one, I want you to use a long form blog. That being said, the blog, the purpose is for you to be able to get back to what you looked at in this course and just to give me a snapshot of sort of your journey each week. So you can use bullet points. If you're not somebody who loves to write, you can, you're writing, you don't have to write a lot. You just have to have a lot of content, and make sure that you put live links to, if you're looking at tools or apps or things like that, put in links so that you can get back there. All right. Was there anything else? Oh, okay. So I put in Your Life Work, The Librarian. I used VideoAnt, which is from the University of Minnesota. It's a video annotation tool. It's super fun. And I was going to clean it out and just put in a few things, but some of the stuff that my last class did was really funny. So I'm leaving it in there for your edification, but it's an interesting tool, and you might want to use it in a future assignment if that's something that takes your fancy. So feel free to take a quick look at that. We're also going to, I believe, look at it again in the week on multimedia. So if you don't have time to do it this week, you'll have time later. And the discussion. Okay, so the discussion to me is the meat of this course. That's where we collaborate, where we talk, where we meet each other, and where we hash out the content. So I say we, but it's really you. I tend not to go into the discussion. I mean, I read it, obviously, but I don't comment a lot unless I have something to say, like based on my work, just because I want you, the participants in the class, to be pushing that in the direction that is useful to you. And I don't want to feel like I'm, the puppet master. So I'll go in occasionally, like I'm gonna go introduce myself in the introduction section, which I hope you've already done. But generally, you're not going to see me in there, but I will see you. So as far as the discussion goes, please read the rubric. You have to go in two different days. So like, it's not just 2 posts a week. There's a minimum of 3 posts a week. You won't get full credit if you have less than 3 posts. You have to go in. It would be great if you went in 3 different times. It'd be great if you went in every day, but I know, life. But you have to go in at least 2 different days, post something on 2 different days. I know some people just gravitate right there, like they want to put something out. Maybe they have a question and they want to put that question out, so that people can be thinking about it. That's cool, but we can't depend on those people to be doing all the heavy lifting early in the week every time. So, work to your comfort level, of course, but at least twice, 2 different days, post 2 different days, and you have to have at least 3 posts. And everything is in the blog rubric, the class rubrics. Okay, I can't believe it, but I'm done. Less than 10 minutes. I'm going to try to keep these under 8 minutes, but it so rarely happens. Okay, that's it for the week. It's great to see you, and I will see you on the discussion boards. Bye.